It is Easter Sunday, and it's the third game of a three-game set between the Baltimore Orioles and the New York Yankees from Camden Yards. On the mound is Nestor Cortes, and he was dealing. My recap, your reactions, coming up next. This is Yankees Game Night. Oh man, Yo Elvis says fire Tim's. Oh wait, right out of the bat, people come and bring in violence. So it is Easter. I'm going to try and keep this quick. That was about as bad as it gets. It doesn't get much worse than that. Less of that, please. Yankees lose another series to the Orioles. Had about enough of that. Getting a strong feeling of deja vu this year. Happy Easter Sunday, everybody. I hope you're having a good weekend. And if you didn't have Friday off, that you have Monday off, as the Yankees do before they open up a series in Detroit. I'm just tired of looking at the Orioles. I'm just sick of looking at them. I don't want to see them anymore. I am tired of looking at the Orioles. Full disclosure, I was traveling back from the game. I went last night, if you missed it. I listened to most of the game on the radio, so my descriptions are going to be based on the accounts of Mr. John Sterling and Susan Waldman. And the few highlights that I caught, I turned it on late in the game and threw together this post-game show, so there might be a couple of mistakes here and there. Aaron Hicks in the leadoff spot today, DJ LeMahieu back in the lineup, and an all right-handed lineup today against the lefty. Hicks has actually been hitting pretty well out of the leadoff spot. He had 2 hits last night, but a perplexing base running mistake in the first inning. Didn't get a chance to talk about that and gripe about that. But we had different headaches to get to today. Before we get to the recap, just a few observations. I know it's a day game after a night game, so you wouldn't expect the catcher from last night to be in there, but Jose Trevino has got to play more. He has been swinging the bat great. He's looked terrific. He's been running the bases well. And you can tell that some guys just bring a different energy in there. And he is one of those guys to me. He looks great so far. I'd give him more reps. Yankees began the game 5-4, leading the league in ERA and in double plays. What else is new? The pitching's been phenomenal, and it was phenomenal up until late in the game today. Again, Hicks leading off, hit a long fly out, first pitch of the game. Sounded like the wind took care of it, and the center fielder had a circus catch. Nestor Nolan Ryan Cortes Jr. on the hill for the Yankees today. He worked into and out of trouble in the first inning, but then he settled down and he was absolutely money. Struck out the side in the second inning. He had 7 strikeouts through 3 innings, 10 strikeouts through 4 innings. Fourth inning was an immaculate inning. Those are rare. Higashioka takes the ball, throws it into the stands, and Garrett Cole had to go hunt it down. Crazy inning. He was apparently throwing a lot of cutters today, and the cutter sounds like it was pretty good. He's really become an elite pitcher. Granted, the Orioles don't seem like the best team. They give the Yankees trouble, so we can't say they're a bad team. I mean, maybe the Yankees are just a worse team. But, he's carving up lineups this year. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Nestor Cortes. He apparently... I think he threw way more cutters than sliders or curveballs today. And that's something that we've seen more. We've seen that with Luis Severino as well. So last year we saw the changeup being introduced by Matt Blake more to these pitchers. We saw Kluber using it more. We saw Garrett Cole using it more. And now this year it seems like the cutter. So now all these guys are throwing cutters and changeups. So that must be one of those things where they know that combination is pretty good when mixed with a decent fastball. Yankees threatened in the 5th, but IKF bounced into a double play to end the inning. Yankees lead the league in double plays. I can't emphasize that enough. Got to stop doing that. Aaron Hicks also picked up his first hit of the day in the top of the 5th. That put his average at 346 on the year. Not bad for a switch hitter out of the leadoff spot so far. I am leaning more towards keeping him in the leadoff spot. He's actually looked pretty good because he does work the count most of the time. He swung at the first pitch today, but he works the count most of the time. He has a little bit of speed and hits from both sides of the plate. Cortes was done in the top of the sixth, 88 pitches, 12 strikeouts on the day, career best for Nestor Cortes Jr. Tim LeCastro, first day back with the Yankees, made an outstanding catch, probably to save a run in the top half of the sixth. Not that it ended up mattering. I got home and walked through the door just in time to see Gleyber Torres make a throwing error. And I got a note last night on one of his ground outs to short, did not hustle down the line at all. That's another thing that's getting old very fast. And maybe I'm just in a bad mood because I've been in traffic for most of the last 2 days. My own fault. But I'm tired of seeing Gleyber Torres loaf it down the line. If you're hitting 162, you can hustle. Hustle doesn't slump. Game remains scoreless into the bottom of the eighth. Johnny Lasagna loads the bases and serves up a 2-run single to Yankees legend Rougned Odor. Orioles break out for 5 runs in the bottom of the eighth. Yankees went down without a whimper in the ninth. What are you going to do? Warren France is Gleyber 0 for 11 in the series. Yeah, I mean, I'm at a loss for words for Gleyber. I mean, he looks great every spring. He's got talent. We've seen him hit 440-foot home runs. We've seen him make great plays. Made a great play in the hole last night. The guy can't hit. I don't know. The league's figured him out. And I had a great perspective on this. And one of my callers mentioned this the other day about how he wraps the bat. I was sitting right behind the left-handed batter's box. So I had a good view of Gleyber Torres' profile when he swings. And he really wraps that bat. And it takes him a long time to get into the hitting position. And I think that's why you're popping up so much. I saw a lot of pop-ups foul from him the last couple of days. So Pasha Noble says Gleyber was juiced. You may be right. I don't want to accuse him of steroids or anything like that, but we heard rumors about a buzzer with Gleyber Torres. His so-called niece, I think, said that Gleyber had some kind of device strapped around his leg and it would buzz. And coincidentally, he hit 38 home runs that year. Remember how much he killed the Orioles? Well, he just went 0 for 11 in the series against the Orioles. Will Starr says somebody got to go. I tweeted this during last night's game, right when it was one of the last things I did before my phone died, right when the hail started coming down. And I thought it was snowing. I was like, it was cold. It was windy. I intentionally left my hoodie in the car. I'll get back to my story. I got a long denouement here. I intentionally left my hoodie in the car because when I showed up at the stadium, it was 75 and sunny and with a light breeze. And because I'm not a weatherman, I just assumed that it would eternally be 75 and sunny and warm. And then I forgot that around 8:30 in Baltimore, in right next to the harbor in April, it gets pretty chilly. So I had to go buy a blanket. Anyway, it was hailing. And one of the things that I did was I tweeted that nothing was really going to change until Brian Cashman is out of here. It's Brian Cashman who's built this roster over the last 20 years. We talked about it all year last year. If you heard Mike Francesa on his show Friday night, he talked about how 2009 kind of saved a lot of careers. Super chat from Jesus saying Odor gets the belt. Yikes, that was rough. Anyway, if you listen to Francesa's broadcast, he talked about a little bit about how that 2009 World Series win kind of saved Cashman and a lot of people's jobs probably, and it earned them some extra time. But the further we get away from that, the worse it looks for Cashman. And I don't blame Aaron Judge for not. I mean, look, it's hard to turn down $230 million, and I don't think he's going to get much more than that, especially if he doesn't start hitting some home runs. I mean, we're 10 games into the season, got one home run. But I don't blame him for not committing to the Yankees for the next 7 years, because the way it's looking right now, you still got some work to do. Landon Thompson says, sell the team. That was a part of the Francesa broadcast. And I love Francesa. He's great. I didn't even realize that he had a podcast. But it's phenomenal. He had Mark Feinsand. He had Bobby Valentine. I always love hearing Bobby Valentine talk baseball. I'm going to try and get him on. William M. says, this Yankee team just puzzles me every day. I mean, how do you lose 2 out of 3 to the Baltimore Orioles? I mean, how can you do that? It's almost beyond feasibility. NVD says, I'm confused. Me too. I don't know what the hell is going on. And no truer words have probably ever been spoken than Derek doesn't know what the hell is going on. Joe Saban says, hire Theo Epstein. You know what? I like it.
More of that, please.
I think Theo Epstein might be just the recipe for what's going on right now. X-Wing class says, Cashman's not going to survive for that much longer if this continues with this team. I mean, you can't be wrong. I mean, you can't build a roster for $245 million that's this inefficient at scoring runs. I mean, the pitching strategy seems to have worked. Whatever the Yankees have done with Matt Blake and the organizational pitching philosophy is working. Right now, the Yankees have the best ERA. Forget the 8th inning today. That was one of those just demoralizing things. And those are going to happen once in a while. But up until then, I mean, what they've done with Nestor Cortes, what they've done with Jamison Tyone, he looked great last night. What they've done with Jonathan Loaizaga, and then just the filth that Luis Severino has added. Pitching, I think the staff is pretty good. They're going to overperform a little bit because of Matt Blake. But I think the organizational philosophy, whatever they're doing analytically with pitching and mostly with defense, positioning is what I mean, not so much fundamentals, seems to work because most of the time you've been pretty good at not giving up runs. The Yankees have, contained some good offenses. They held their own against the Blue Jays. But offensively, it's time to back up the truck, baby. It's time to back up the truck. The offense, whatever the philosophy is, has got to change. I mean, I don't know if it's just stacking more lefties, getting more young people, just younger players. Maybe you do need to call up Peraza. He's not exactly tearing the cover off it in AAA. Maybe you do need to call up Florial. Again, I don't think Florial's a great major league hitter, but maybe you need something you need somebody who's playing their ass off to be there. That's one of the reasons I like Trevino. Trevino is right now the number 3 catcher behind Higgy and Rortvedt. That's depth chart anyways. He's up because, they traded for him, but he's up here because Rortvedt got hurt. And if Rortvedt was here, he wouldn't be here. And he knows that. And so he's saying, I got to play my ass off. I got to play my ass off to stay on this ball club. And you know what? He's playing his ass off. Got to give some of these young guys look, took the words right out of my mouth. Chris Q says, got to give some of these young guys a chance. I love it when that happens. It's just, Yankee by Nature says, call up Andujar and get Gallo out of here. My brother tweeted at me yesterday and he said, no playoff team should ever have Joey Gallo. I know for a fact that some of the players watch these. I know for a fact. And I don't want to trash you guys. I like Joey Gallo as a person. Like, he's a cool guy. But, offensively, his pattern is suck for 3 weeks, hit 6 home runs in 4 games, and then suck for the rest of the month. So, at the end of the year, you do that every month. That's like 36 home runs. Maybe you hit a couple of 2-homer games. You got, 35 to 40 home runs. But most of the other times, he can't hit. I just can't fathom putting him in the lineup every day. And he's played probably more than anybody. I don't have the stats in front of me. But as PXNA says, it's just facts. It is just facts. Sawbelly says, glad you made it back okay. This bullpen will never hold up under this kind of stress. 100% agree. 100% agree.
I wholeheartedly agree.
You can't keep making the bullpen carry you every night. What's the Yankees' high in runs this year? 6? And wasn't that like an extra inning game or something? When are the Yankees going to break out and have a week where they score 60 runs? Come on. We have got to get a different offensive strategy. And maybe Dylan Lawson will help with that in time. But something needs to change now because you came into this game tied for first place, but you just lost 2 out of 3 of the Orioles. You cannot let the wheels come off. You cannot go to Detroit, who just lost Javi Baez, by the way, to the IL. So we're going to miss him. You can't go throw 8 home run balls to Spencer Torkelson this weekend and get shut out 2 times, or this week rather. I just know that those 2 things are going to happen. The Yankees are going to get shut down offensively against the Tigers, and Torkelson and Cabrera are going to be the guys that kill them offensively. I can see it now. But the offense has got to just figure something out. They got to get going. All right, we're gonna talk about some of your comments here. Let's see. NVD says offense got to get going. I mean, I think you're just echoing what we're all thinking, man. FG says, after all the talk last season about giving Gallo a chance at a full season, now the chat is ready to dump him after 10 games? Yes. I wish there was a more simple answer. I was ready to dump him after last season. And I think he's a great defender. If he could hit a little bit, he'd be one of my favorite players. If he could hit 250, he'd be I would be number one. I would get number one Joey Gallo fan tattooed on my bicep. If he could hit 250. Because he's great on defense. He runs the bases well. He obviously cares. Like he wears that on his sleeve. Nick Cannon says, I missed the London series. That seems like the peak game for this Yankees window that they had that began in 2017, doesn't it? Because, Luke Voit was on fire, Judge, Didi, like home run, Hicks was going deep. The Yankees offense was amazing that series. And then Voit gets hurt, and the team just was never the same after that. And Voit has gone AWOL in San Diego. Nick Coleman says, this is the batting order I want to see. Hicks, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, DJ, Donaldson, Torres, IFK, Trevino as our standard. That's not bad. Still not lefty enough. I mean, you got 2 lefties against a righty, Hicks and Rizzo, but you got nothing in the bottom third of the order. So I don't know. I don't know what the Yankees' options are. I mean, you just can't get better right now. You didn't do any. You just had an off season. You just had an off season. There were 5 shortstops that you could have got that could hit. Who did you want? The left-handed hitter that just got intentionally walked with the bases loaded the other day? I mean, that would have been a nice pickup, don't you think? I could see him hitting third in this order. That would be nice. And then Rizzo becomes number 5. That would have been beautiful. Anthony Volpe hit a grand slam today in Double-A Somerset. Juan Lopez says, once Harambe died, the Yankees died. Ouch. Martin Kalunga says, is this a bad dream? What happened this weekend? Well, the Yankees lost 2 out of 3 to a team that lost 110 games last year.
Double kill.
Felipe says, I like DJ to start better. Why was DJ on the bench today? Or on the bench yesterday? Why? DJ should be our starting second baseman. Gleyber Torres has not done enough to remain the starting second baseman. I'm sorry. I like him. He's a nice kid. He needs to be in AAA. I'm sorry. Futai says, let Marwin play over Gallo. I think Marwin is better in his role that he is, where he's kind of a utility guy who can play. I mean, he played in 8 positions one time. in one game. I think he's better in that role where he can be a guy to come off the bench and play all over the place. But the Yankees got to do something about second base. They got to keep DJ as your second baseman. I'm sorry. And then, left field, Gallo's going to be your outfielder. But I wouldn't be opposed to trading him. I think there would be a team out there that would trade for him because it's easy to say from afar, oh, he can't handle New York. He was great in Texas. Look at his numbers in Texas. He can't handle New York. I really just think he's not that great a player. I think we're seeing why we're seeing what he is as a player. It's a pattern. He'll suck for 3 weeks, hit 5 or 6 home runs in a few days. He'll carry you for a few days, accumulate some WAR, go back to not hitting, and play defense. Great defense all year. That's what he is. But I don't like that. I can't stand watching this guy strike out all the time. And even, he made some contact this weekend, but it was soft contact, They got to do something. I mean, I would deal him and just get whatever you can get. Whatever you can get. Maybe you can take one of these stud shortstops and turn him into an outfielder. Trey Sweeney is a shortstop. He's blocked by Anthony Volpe and Peraza, and he was a number 1 draft pick last year. You could either trade him for an outfielder, or, my recommendation, stick him in left field right now. Right now! Or teach him to play second and get him here sooner rather than later. There are things that you can do to adjust this. You've got some prospects that you can use, but you can't hoard them all. And I'm not going to move my prospects. I'm going to just keep running the same shit out there and hope for different results. That's what Cashman's doing. And that is why Cashman should be fired. Happy Easter, everyone. I will be back. I'm probably going to do an episode of The Freeze tomorrow night. I tell you what, here's what we're going to do. We are going to do a voicemail episode tomorrow. I've got a really busy day, and I'll do a quick series preview of the Tigers series. And I want to do a voicemail episode. So call in with your questions or comments. The number is on the screen. It's, if you're listening, 718-899-1068. Call into that voicemail hotline between, now and tomorrow afternoon. And then tomorrow evening, I will release an episode of The Freeze with my series preview for the Tigers. I'll probably have some other thoughts. Maybe something will come up between now and then that I want to talk about. But then the rest of it's just going to be your voicemails. It's just going to be your voice. So we'll tune into that, and you can kind of let us know how you're feeling, because I'm sure the takes are going to be tremendous after a 2 out of 3 loss to the Orioles. Are you kidding me? Another shutout? Are you kidding me? Guys not hustling down the line in a tie game? I want your takes badly. Give me your best takes in the voicemail. I will see you tomorrow. I'm going to go spend the rest of my holiday relaxing. I just got off the road. Shout out to my buddy Tom. That was a fantastic time. The Yankees picked up a win. So to my buddy Tom.
More of that, please.
To the Yankees, less of that, please. And let's get some extra batting practice in Detroit. I'll see you guys next time.